A lot of guys don't realize how much certain behaviors actually impact how attractive they come across. And I'm not talking about things you can't control like your height or your bone structure or whatever. I'm talking about choices you're making every single day that are either working for you or kind of working against you without you even noticing. And the thing is, most of these aren't huge, dramatic changes. They're subtle shifts in how you carry yourself, how you interact with people, how you present yourself to the world. And from a woman's perspective, these things matter way more than you might think because they signal something deeper about who you are as a person. Now, before I get into this, I want to be really clear about something. This is not me saying that if you do all 7 of these things, you're suddenly going to be irresistible to every woman you meet. That's not how attraction works. Context matters here. Every woman is different, every situation is different, and chemistry is still a real thing that you can't manufacture. But what I am saying is that these behaviors tend to make men more attractive across the board because they communicate confidence, awareness, and emotional maturity. And those things are genuinely appealing to most women, even if the specific package they come in varies from person to person. All right, so the first thing is actually paying attention to how you smell. And I know that sounds basic, but I think sometimes guys underestimate how much scent plays into attraction. It's not just about not smelling bad, which obviously is the baseline, but it's about smelling intentionally good in a way that feels natural to you. A lot of guys will either skip this entirely or they'll go way overboard with cologne to the point where you can smell them from across the room, and neither of those extremes is doing you any favors. What women actually notice is when a guy smells clean and fresh, like he just showered, and maybe there's a subtle hint of a cologne or aftershave that isn't overpowering. When I was in college, I remember there was this guy in one of my classes who always smelled like clean laundry, and just a touch of something woodsy, and it was genuinely distracting in the best way because it made you want to be closer to him to catch that scent. That's the effect you're going for. So find a signature scent that works with your body chemistry. Don't drown yourself in it, and make sure your basics are covered. Deodorant, clean clothes, good hygiene. This alone doesn't guarantee attraction, but it creates an environment where attraction can actually develop because women aren't instinctively pulling away from you. The second thing, and this is huge, is being genuinely curious about other people. Not in a forced way where you're asking questions like you're conducting an interview, but actually listening when someone talks and asking follow-up questions that show you were paying attention. A lot of guys don't realize that one of the most attractive things you can do in a conversation is make the other person feel heard and interesting. And I'm not saying you need to turn every interaction into a therapy session or that you can't talk about yourself, but there's this tendency some guys have where they're either waiting for their turn to talk or they're so focused on saying the right thing that they're not actually present in the conversation. From a woman's perspective, when a guy asks me something about myself and then actually remembers what I said and references it later, even in a casual way, that's incredibly attractive because it shows he's engaged and not just going through motions. I've been on dates where the guy was objectively good looking, but the conversation felt one-sided. And I've been on dates with guys who maybe weren't my usual type physically, but they made me feel so interesting and heard that I ended up way more attracted to them than I expected. So practice being curious. Ask about her interests, her experiences, what she's excited about, and then actually listen to the answers. This doesn't mean you become a doormat or you don't share about yourself, but the balance matters more than most guys think. The third thing is having something you're genuinely passionate about outside of dating or work. And this could be anything: a hobby, a sport, a creative pursuit, volunteering, building something, learning something new. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's something that lights you up and gives you a sense of purpose or fulfillment that isn't dependent on external validation. A lot of guys fall into this trap where their entire identity revolves around their job or their relationship status. And when you don't have anything else going on, it can come across as either boring or a little bit desperate. Women are attracted to men who have full lives because it signals that you're not going to make her your entire world or expect her to fill every need you have. I think sometimes guys hear this and they think it means they need to become some ultra-accomplished person with a million hobbies, but that's not it at all. It's more about having something that makes you feel alive and engaged with the world. When I talk to a guy and he lights up talking about his woodworking project, or his soccer league, or the book he's reading, or the trail he hiked last weekend, that enthusiasm is contagious and attractive. It makes me want to know more about him, and it shows he has dimension beyond just trying to impress me. The fourth thing, and this one might surprise you, is being comfortable with silence. A lot of guys feel like they need to fill every pause in a conversation, especially on dates or when they're first getting to know someone. And it creates this anxious energy that's actually less attractive than just letting moments breathe. From a woman's perspective, when a guy can sit in silence without panicking or forcing conversation, it signals confidence and comfort in his own skin. It shows that he's not performing or trying too hard, and that ease is really appealing. This doesn't mean you should just go silent and stare at her awkwardly. But if there's a natural lull in conversation, you don't need to scramble to fill it immediately. Maybe you're both just looking at the menu or walking somewhere or finishing a thought. Those pauses are normal, and they actually create space for the interaction to feel more natural and less like a job interview. Just because a conversation has a quiet moment doesn't mean it's going badly. It's usually a combination of factors that determine whether there's chemistry, and one of those factors is whether both people feel relaxed enough to just exist together without constant stimulation. The fifth thing is taking care of your physical space in a way that shows you respect yourself and your environment. And I'm talking about your apartment, your car, your workspace, whatever. This isn't about having an expensive or perfectly decorated place. It's about basic cleanliness and organization that shows you have your life somewhat together. A lot of guys don't realize that when a woman comes over and sees dirty dishes piled up for days or laundry all over the floor or a bathroom that hasn't been cleaned in months, it's not just gross, it's also a signal that you're not really taking care of yourself or that you don't see the value in creating a comfortable environment. I've definitely been guilty of judging this myself. I went to a guy's place once for a casual hangout, and his apartment was so chaotic and dirty that I honestly couldn't relax. And it completely changed how I saw him, because it made me wonder what else in his life was disorganized or neglected. On the flip side, I've been to guys' places that were simple, and maybe not super stylish, but everything was clean and thoughtful. Like there were fresh towels in the bathroom, and the kitchen wasn't a disaster zone. And that small amount of effort made such a difference in how I perceived him. One sign alone isn't enough to determine attraction, but these environmental cues add up and they tell a story about how you move through the world. The sixth thing is being decisive without being controlling. And this is a balance that I think some guys struggle with because there's this fear of being too assertive or coming across as pushy, so they swing too far in the other direction and become overly passive. From a woman's perspective, it's actually really attractive when a guy can make a decision, even a small one, without needing constant reassurance or putting all the pressure on me to choose. This doesn't mean you steamroll over what she wants or that you never ask for her input, but it means you're willing to take the lead when appropriate. Like if you're planning a date and she says she's open to anything, it's way more attractive if you suggest a specific place or activity rather than going back and forth with, I don't know, what do you want to do for 20 minutes? Make a call, suggest something, and if she doesn't like it, she'll say so and you can adjust. But that initial decisiveness shows confidence and it takes some of the mental load off of her, which is honestly a relief. This alone doesn't guarantee she'll be attracted to you, but it creates a dynamic where she feels like you're capable and confident enough to navigate the world, and that's appealing. The seventh thing, and I think this might be the most important one, is being kind to people who can't do anything for you. Waitstaff, cashiers, customer service people, strangers on the street, whoever. How you treat people when you have nothing to gain from being nice to them says everything about your character, and women are absolutely watching this. A lot of guys don't realize that the way they talk to a waiter on a date is often more telling than anything they say directly to the woman they're trying to impress. If you're rude or dismissive or condescending to someone in a service role, that's an immediate turn-off because it shows that your kindness is conditional and performative. From a woman's perspective, I'm thinking, if he treats this person poorly, how will he treat me once the honeymoon phase is over, or once he's comfortable, or once he's having a bad day? I remember being on a date once where the guy was charming and attentive to me, but he snapped at our server over something minor, and I felt my attraction to him just evaporate instantly because I realized his kindness wasn't genuine, it was strategic. So be genuinely kind to everyone. Tip well, say please and thank you. Be patient when things go wrong. Acknowledge people's humanity. It costs you nothing, and it makes you infinitely more attractive because it shows that you're a good person at your core, not just when it benefits you. Now here's a bonus thing that I think ties all of this together. The guys who are genuinely attractive, the ones who seem to just naturally draw people in, they're usually the ones who aren't obsessing over being attractive. They're focused on being good humans, on improving themselves for their own sake, on building lives they're proud of, and the attractiveness is almost a byproduct of that internal work. So if you take nothing else from this, take that. Work on these things, not because you're trying to manipulate attraction or trick women into liking you, but because they make you a better, more grounded, more confident version of yourself. And that energy, that quiet self-assurance that comes from knowing you're doing the work, that's what actually draws people in. So let me know in the comments, which of these do you think makes the biggest difference? Or is there something I missed that you think guys should focus on? And if you found this helpful, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.